Hey, fabulous peeps, and happy day. I am Teacher Melanie. I talk all things as it relates to marriage, motherhood, money, and everything else in between. I am a licensed financial rep, and I do everything from the womb to the tomb. And so I want to talk about foreclosures, bankruptcy, being sued, and letting you know that despite that, you can start again. So, little black story. 2008, 2009, when the financial market crashed, my husband and myself crashed with it. We had 13 investment properties. We ended up losing 11 out of them through foreclosures, short sales. Then on top of it, one of the mortgage companies decided to sue us. Even though we were working with them to do a short sale, they decided to sue us. They started to garnish my husband's wages. And how we actually found out was he got paid one day and the check was not the amount that it was supposed to be. And come to find out that that they started to garnish the wages. So at that time, we could not file head of household. That would have helped them not garnishing the wages. So we had to file for bankruptcy. And it took every bit of us to actually make that decision because, to be honest with you, we were embarrassed because we thought we were doing something right with the investment and investing in these properties. But a couple of things we did wrong. First of all, we grew too fast. The other thing too, we were dealing with people that were not genuinely honest with us because thank God that for wisdom and discernment, because after all, we realized something wasn't right, that they end up going to jail. Now, this is the thing. If we had continued with them, we could have been a part of that as well. But thank God for his grace and mercy to help us discern that we have to get out of this. And so we filed for bankruptcy, and it was a process. And the thing about bankruptcy is that, you have to disclose all of your income and your assets and all of that. But one thing that is not a part of bankruptcy was student loan debt. And so at the time, the student loan debt that we had was about $40,000, which was mine. I shared it with you a previous video, which was mine. My husband didn't go to college. Great man of God. He didn't go to college, so he didn't have all those student loan debt. It was me, and most of it was from getting my master's at that time. And so as we were going through the bankruptcy process, couple of things that I learned. First of all, that it wasn't the end, because in my mind, I thought bankruptcy was the end of all. And then I started to learn more about people that filed for bankruptcy and how they were able to get through it. And I was talking about, millionaires. And so as we were learning through the whole process, thank God for wise counsel from our attorneys, our financial mentors, and whatever, just to help navigate that whole process, because we were drowning. We were losing money like money had wings. And not only that, but we had I want to say, it was over $1 million of property values that we had. So we didn't have $1 million in the bank to help maintain it. We had a couple of thousands. And so we were just pouring money. We were like bleeding money trying to save these properties. And if I had known what I know now, I would have not done that whatsoever. I would not have poured that money into trying to save the properties. This would have let them go whatever way they fall on top of it. And then we could have still kept our cash. We would have kept, but in our mind, which is what you don't know, you just don't know. That's why knowledge is so important. In my mind, I was just like, well, I'm trying to save it, trying to protect my credit, all this type of things. But at the end, we couldn't protect our credit. We couldn't sustain the properties. Tenants were losing their jobs. They couldn't pay any rent. And it's like we would get people in there and they were like tenants from hell. And we had to let them go, trying to get another one. And it was just so much. And the other thing, what I learned was we had properties in so many different locations. We had it here in Florida where we lived. We had it about 6 hours away, in Georgia, we had them all over the place. So that's another thing that I learned, that we really had spread ourselves thin too fast. And so, which brought us to having to get rid of the properties. And so we got rid of them as quickly as we can. Some of them were foreclosures. Some of them got short sale on them. And I remember at one point when the courts come to your home and they deliver the foreclosure papers, it was like I was knowing the person that delivered the foreclosure paper. She would just come and she said, I have another one, I have another one, I have another one. I'm just like, just put it with the rest, put it with the rest, put it with the rest. The phone calls that we were getting, it was, I mean, they would call like on the hour, every hour. So that's another reason why we said we got to figure this out, because we can't keep living out like this. It was a strain, of course, on our finances, but also in our marriage as well. But one thing that really helped us as we navigate that, as it relates to our marriage, is that we had made a decision. After one day, I cried till I had the worst headache ever. I even know something like that could even happen, because I had cried that much. And I shared with you previously that that particular day, if I was like giving up, I said I'm done with this. I was done with life, whatever the case may be. And my husband said, when we finally got a chance to talk and get our mind together, and he was like, we're going to get through this. And we prayed, and I sought counsel and said, okay, these are the options that we can do. And once we cleared our minds, all right, and put a plan together how we're going to execute, it was an easier process to deal with. That's why I tell you, if you're married, one thing you have to be is on one page, one accord with your spouse. And sometimes it can be uncomfortable. It can really be uncomfortable, but it's going to save so much time and headache in the end when you can just put things on the table. And it's a process. Let me tell you, it is a process, and marriage is already challenging as it is. And then when you have to deal with money and marriage, that's a whole nother different thing, because it's two people coming together imperfect, not only just coming together, two different lifestyles, two different experiences, whatever, and now coming into a oneness and a unity in the finances. It can definitely happen, let me tell you, right? But it is a process, and it has to be a commitment that both of you agree on and work together and have those conversations as well. And so once we were able to get through that process, as I said, student loan debt is not a part of bankruptcy whatsoever. So all of our expenses and things that we had, we still had a car payment, and there was some land that we had as well, and all different debts. Okay, we were able to get rid of all of those debts, but the student loan debt was still like haunting us. And so we started to really do a little bit research about student loan debt and just how the demise of it is. That student loan debt is supposed to help make your life better, right? Where they say go to school, get good grades, and then you're going to have this amazing life. So for me, I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and get my master's. I can make more money with my master's. They're going to pay me. And it wasn't like it's an extra $10,000 per paycheck. It was like an extra couple of hundred. Go figure, right? But once we realized, okay, so it's in bankruptcy, we're getting interest every single day. So I'm seeing this amount, like, isn't this supposed to stop? But it did not stop whatsoever. And so once we came to the realization, we got out of bankruptcy. It actually probably took us about, I want to say maybe 2 years after we got out of bankruptcy to put our minds together and say, we need to pay this off. And it really was my husband that was just so gung-ho about paying this off. He's like, we're going to figure this out, because we're paying this off. We want to be totally debt free. And things that we were saving and our investments, we were able to pay off that student loan debt, which is about $40,000 in about 3 months, to be honest with you. we came up with I can tell you exactly how we did it. We were on vacation in Jamaica, and myself and my husband and myself, we were at a resort, and like the purpose of us for that time, we were planning of how we were going to move forward with our finances and all that. So I came with my book and all we're going to do it, and we had a conversation. This is the plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to use this. Any additional money comes in, we're going to put everything in it. When I said we gang busted, we gang busted. We put every single penny, nickel, dime, whatever event, we put it towards it. And my gosh, when I think about that. So that was in June. By August of that year, I think it was 2000. I'm going to have to find it. Because I have it someplace. Anyways, so we did it in June, July, August. Yeah, June, July, August. By August, we were paid off in full, debt-free. So that's why I say, when you make a decision that you are going to do something different, that you are in a position that in your mind that, you know what, no matter what it looks like, I know that something good is going to happen. I know I'm going to receive the payback. I know I'm going to receive the resource. I know I'm going to receive whatever is that the money, spiritually, physically, emotionally, whatever it is that you need. And you've been seeking God for it, and you're just like, wait a minute. This is gonna happen. Something good is gonna happen. I'm gonna experience a breakthrough, because you made a decision and you've learned to trust the process and to seek wise counsel. Let me tell you, it will happen. That's why I put in the video is that you can achieve again, no matter where you are. But it starts with a decision, and I didn't really understand that until recently, when. And I'm gonna talk about my business in a different video, but I would hear this is that there's nothing like a made up mind. And I was like, well, yeah, but I didn't quite understand it until I started to identify certain things where I made my mind to do, and I'm not gonna stop, and I'm not giving up, that I was able to achieve it. And those things where I self-sabotage and was just like, I don't know if I can, we'll see, in my mind. Physically, I'm like, no, we can do it. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'm deserving of it, or I don't think that I can get to that, because I didn't see it. But now I'm in the thing, especially with all that we've experienced, the losses and stuff, and so quickly I realized that, you know what, Mel? Yes, you can. Yes, you will. Yes, you must, because so many people are depending on me, and I'm depending on me. Okay, I'm depending on me, because I realized it can be done. I saw firsthand the things that my brother did that I didn't even know about until after. I saw firsthand what my father did, and I saw it, and I didn't believe it until people were just like, yeah, you don't understand what your father did for me. You don't understand what your brother did for me. You don't, it's because of this, right? And they made decisions that I'm like, wow, okay. So as painful as the loss of my brother and my father was, I've learned a lot in this period of time. And those losses, the bankruptcy, the foreclosure ensued, being depressed, just felt alone, felt abandoned, felt like nobody could understand, because a whole lot of our families didn't know what we were going on. And outside we were looking like, hey, but behind closed doors, we were truly a hot mess. When I say nobody really knew, nobody knew. No, I mean, my parents, I don't even think they did. I don't know. Maybe did. Somebody, I don't know. But neither here or there. But I say that's why you never judge. You never point out, oh, they think they got this. How they got this? Listen, you see a person in all their glory, but you do not know their story. You don't know how they got there. You don't know what they did. So when I hear people talk about this person and this person and how they did that and what they did, guess what? It's none of your concern. If you were not there when they were in the trenches, right? You were not there when they had sleepless nights, or they didn't have a meal, or they had to sleep in their car, or they had to do all this. If you were not there, you have no right to talk about them now when they're shine, they're in spotlights, and probably still having some different struggles yet, right? So that's why it's so important. That a friend of mine taught me this, and I didn't really get it. I didn't When he taught it to me, I was like, what? And then it hit me. These things always hit me. And he said, remember, that finger that you're pointing at somebody else, remember the other ones that are pointing back at you. So even if you go like this, look at the thumb. Do you see the thumb? The thumb is still pointing back. So that means you got to check yourself first. And the Bible talks about that. The Bible talks about that so much, that you looking at the speck in your brother's eye, but you don't see the one that's in your eye that's sticking out. That's why check yourself. And I also realize this, that as we're doing this is day 2 of our fasting. And my prayer is, Lord, show me what is it that I need to work on, that I could be a better wife, that I could be a better mother, a better daughter, a better business owner. Because sometimes, I said, God, this person needs to change, or this needs to be, but I realized because of that I said, no, let me control what I can control, me. Let me work on me, and God is going to take care of the rest. And I realized that that's something too, that you have to check yourself, right? What is a common denominator in certain circumstance situations? What is the common denominator? And if you are a part of it, then some things that you have to work on. And it's okay, because there is good, there is better, and there is best on top of it as well. And so now, a couple of years later, we were able to, I want to say, well, this was 4 years ago when, so during the bankruptcy, of course, our mortgage didn't get paid off or anything like that. So we still had mortgage, and we had two mortgages off of another property and the one that we were living in. And so we were just like, okay, so the one that we're living in, how can we pay this off as quickly as possible? And so years after, we had refinanced, and we're like, okay, we're going to pay this off in 3 to 5 years. That was our goal. And we did it again. We put a plan together. We presented it to the Lord. We're like, Lord, this is the desires of our heart, blah, 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 this or the other. And we put everything, we did bi-weekly mortgage, bi-weekly. And so bi-weekly is when it's the same mortgage, okay? You're not paying, like I say, if it's 1,500, you're not paying 1,500 every 2 weeks. You're actually paying 750 every 2 weeks. And so we did that bi-weekly, and we did even extra payment. Anything extra that we got in, we put it. And let me tell you, so we actually reached the goal of 3 to 5 years. It was actually a little over 3 years after the refinance that we were able to pay off our mortgage. And that was an incredible feeling. That's why I say that no matter where you are, you can achieve again. And I also realized that failure, more than ever, and I've said this before, it's only a failure if you stop. You totally give up. When you totally give up, then yes, you failed. But when you said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna brush myself off. I'm gonna try again. And let me say this: it took a while for me to even get to that point, because I always loved being in business, but after a while, I was just like, I don't want to be in business at all. I was so scared. Fear was coming. Fear was a part of me. I was so scared about starting a business, of doing any of those things. Again, because I was really fearful of failure. I didn't want it to happen again. So it took a while for me to even get back into the mode of having a business, or even pursuing a business, knowing that is such a great part of me. Such a great part of me, because I've had businesses since I was in middle school. I had a bowl business with my little box and my school books. High school, I had making t-shirts and a whole outfit. My mother would sew the bottoms for me. So if they want a whole outfit, they can get that as well. So I didn't work in fast food at the mall. My mom said, create your schedule, whatever skills you can do, you can make money off of that. Okay. Okay. My father was saying, same thing, really encouraging, because I mimicked what I saw. They were entrepreneurs and I wanted that as well. And so for me now, being a wife, a mother, not only just a mother, but a homeschool mom, because I also homeschool my children, I realized that when you can control your time, you can control so much more and be present in so much more. Now, mind you, now in a business, it can take a lot out of you. It really does. And you have to be really mindful of your time as well with your family, because your business, that's another part that I had to learn, that your business could consume you. So even though you say, I want to be in business, I want to spend more time with my family, you can actually actually end up spending less time, because now you're consuming, so focused on trying to build this business. So there needs to be, I don't want to say balance, because there's no such things as balance, but there needs to be some type of a compromise where you're scheduling thing. Like today, had to update get a new driver's license, because it was time to renew it. And after we homeschooled this morning, we went to the driver's license place, the children, myself, my mom, and I said, okay, today there's a movie theater that's close by. I want to see Mustafa. I wanted to see the movie. I said, okay, so after that, we'll go ahead and do that. That was a designated time for us to kind of be together, laugh a little bit, talk about the movie and things we were like. And so after I came home, and I was like, okay, I got a client that I need to meet with. I meet with my client, work on a couple of things as well. Then later on, have some time with hubby. We gotta talk. But needless to say, so I'm always learning. I don't always get it right either. Right, but I'm willing to learn. That's why I wanted my children to be lifelong learners and not test takers. Hence why we homeschool. Plus the freedom to be able to travel, because we need that in our lives, especially with having the ministry that my father left to us. We need to have that flexibility as well. And I want my kids to understand that classroom is not in a box. That classroom is anywhere. Learning can be wherever you can go. It's a learning opportunity with that one. So with that being said, my fabulous piece, you can achieve again. Just whatever you do, don't stop. Right? Every mickle make a muckle. Always do a little bit something towards your goals and dreams. And every little bit that you do, because something is better than nothing. Let me tell you. All right. So I'm so glad that you stayed with me till the end. Love you to life. That's a step. Yeah. Anyways, I'll talk about that. So like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. And if you want to connect with me, you see my link below. It's also, you see my site on Life Financial Resilience. Okay. That you can also just get some information on, just making sure your financial house is in order, your life is in order in the process. All right, my fabulous peeps. Bye.